hope you're well. Welcome back to one of my videos. I'm Selena, and if you're new to my channel, I make crochet videos and I release one every week. So if you enjoy crochet and like my videos, please subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this one. So for this project I made a granny square scarf. So here it's just partially made because I'm going to show you how to make it and stitch it and so on and so forth. So I was waiting to make this video to finish it. And yes, so I hope you enjoy it. So to make this project you will need two different yarns. So this one here, this grey one, is Cygnet. So by the brand Cygnet. Everything will be in the description box, of course, as always. And of course the free pattern is on my blog. You can download it at selenaveronique.com. and all the details are written on that too. So the grey yarn is Cygnet Kiddies Supersoft DK in shade soft grey, and the pink yarn is actually James C. Brett's Northern Lights, and it's like an ombre type of yarn with little speckles. It's also a DK, so that's a light 3 yarn in American terms. And this Northern Lights is an NL8 pink shade. So yes, I used a 4mm crochet hook for this, and without further ado, I'm going to show you how to make this scarf. So to make this yarn you will need 10 granny squares in shade pink and 10 granny squares in shade grey, and then you will be stitching them together, alternating of course, but I will be showing you how to make the square first on a sample, and then I will show you how to stitch them together, and I'll show you the rest of the scarf because that's not all the scarf. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you how to make a granny square, and then we can make our scarf. So to begin your granny square you are going to be making a slip knot. So just make a slip knot and pop your 4mm crochet hook through that, and you are going to be chaining 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So once you've chained 4, you're going to pop your hook through that and slip stitch to form a ring. So now you have a ring into which you are going to be working. So to begin you're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and this counts as your first double crochet. And within that circle you're going to add 2 more double crochets. So just wrap your yarn round, pop your hook into that circle, take your yarn, pull it through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. You are going to take your yarn, pull through 2 loops, and take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and you've got another double crochet, and then you're just going to add another double crochet. And if you need more help on how to double crochet, I will be linking in the description box a whole video I have done about double crochets. So once you've done that, that's your first cluster of 3 double crochet made. You are going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and you are going to be placing 3 more double crochets inside that same circle. So just place 3 double crochets inside that circle, that ring, and 2 and 3, and chain 2, 1 and 2, and again another cluster of 3 double crochets, are going to go in that ring. There we go. And chain 3, 1 and 2, chain 2, and make 3 more double crochets inside that ring, and 3. And to make it symmetric, you are going to be chaining 2. So just chain 2, and now your first round is complete, and you will be slip stitching into the 3rd chain from that 3 chain that we did at the beginning. So just slip stitch. So to slip stitch, you are just going to pop your hook through and pull your yarn through. And you have your first round of your granny square made. So as you can see, you've got 4 clusters of 3 double crochets and 4 chain 2s, which are going to be counting as your corners. So to do round 2, you are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and you are going to be placing 3 more double crochets inside that chain 2 space from the previous row. So add 2 more double crochets, and this forms your first cluster of 3 double crochets. Chain 2, because this is a corner, and when you are doing a corner in a granny square, you always have 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So we're going to make another 3 double crochets inside that same space that we've just worked in. So just add 3 double crochets. And I just want to say that the granny square makes a lot more sense once you've done a few rounds. So if you're new to granny squares, just bear with me and you will understand the structure of the granny square a lot better once you've reached round 2, round 3, round 4, because it's very repetitive, but you need to get your corners and your sides done to be able to understand the structure. So there we go. We've got 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and what we're going to do is jump right into the next chain 2. So just skip those 3 here and go into this next space, and you're going to do the exact same thing. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, because again this is a corner. So just do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and you're going to go again into the next space and do the exact same thing. So for the remainder of this round, you are going to be doing into each of the next 2 spaces here the same thing. So just go into that next space, do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and the same in that last space here, and I'll get back to you once you've done that. So once we've finished that last cluster of 3 right here in this corner, we are going to be slip stitching to the first chain 3 that we've done directly. So just pop your hook through and take your yarn, pull it through that stitch and through that stitch, and you've done the second round of your granny square. And this is what it should look like. So now we're going to start having corners and sides. So to begin the 3rd round of your granny square, you are going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work, and here you see you've got a space, and it's not a corner, it's a side, if that makes any sense. So we're just going to add 2 double crochets inside that space, And once we've put those 2 double crochets inside that space, we are going to be going directly into the next chain space, and the next chain space is a corner, as you can see. So corners are always recognizable because obviously they're in a corner, but also because they've got that chain 2 that we always do in every round. So what you're going to do is, as always, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets within that same space. There we go. And we're going to jump right into the next space, which is a side. So you see our granny square is starting to have sides and not just corners. And in the sides, I call it sides, but I don't know what it's called really. You're just going to place 3 double crochets. And then we're going to jump right into the next corner and make 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets because it's a corner. So 3, chain 2, okay, chain 2 and 3 double crochets inside that same space. And this is very repetitive, so basically the granny square is really easy because each time you reach a corner it's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then once you hit a side, which we only have 1 in this round, you're going to do 3 double crochets inside there. Then we're going to hit a corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then a side which is just 3 double crochets, and then the last corner which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. So I'll just let you carry on with this round and I'll be back to show you the next round. So I'm back and I finished row 3. So to close off this row, I'm just going to slip stitch into the chain 3 from the previous row. So just slip stitch and you've got your row, and to do row 4 you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This counts as always as your first double crochet. You're going to turn your work and you are going to place another 2 double crochets in that space like so. And once you've done that, you are just going to do the same as before. Just jump into each space and carry on with your granny square. So we've just hit a corner, so as always 3 double crochets, chain 2, so 3 double crochets, chain 2, and another 3 double crochets inside that space. Now here we've got more sides spaces as our granny square is growing, of course, so that makes a lot of sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to go directly into that side and place 3 double crochets. So we've done our 3 double crochets. We're going to go into the next space here and do 3 double crochets. And as always, this is the exact same as the previous row. You are going to be doing in the next space 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets because this is a corner, and then just 3 double crochets inside each space. And when you reach a corner, you will be doing your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then your normal 3 double crochet clusters. And I'll just let you finish this round and I'll meet back with you once I've finished to show you round 5. So I've just finished round 4 and I've slip stitched. And to do round 5, it's the exact same thing as what I've already shown you. So just chain 3 as always, turn your work, and just place your 2 extra double crochets to form your cluster, and the same in the next stitch, and just carry on with the same pattern with a cluster of 3 double crochets in the side spaces, and a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the corners, and just do that all the way along, and I'll show you how to finish off your granny square. So I've just finished my granny square, and I've slip stitched to the beginning. I'm going to snip off the yarn and fasten off, so just pull your tail through that last loop and pull tight. And what you're going to do, so to finish off your granny square, what I like to do with a granny square is secure the center just so that it doesn't come undone. So the first thing I do is sew in that loose end. So just sew in your tail. You should have tightened it and the center, and just fasten off that so your center is nice and neat and tight. So to sew your granny squares together, you're just going to take a piece of yarn, so it's not too long. So just take a piece of yarn. I've chosen to sew them with the pink yarn. You can choose whichever color you want. Just pop your yarn into a corner of one of the squares. Tighten it, and then what I'm going to do is just pop it symmetrically into the other grey square, and I'm just going to stitch them together as best I can, like so. So I'm just going to stitch them that way. So I'll just let you carry on stitching them neatly until the end of that square, and I'll be back to show you what to do. So once you've reached the end, what I do is I kind of secure it going back and forth like I would be sewing in my loose ends type of thing. So I will make a little knot at one stage, just like that, just to secure it, and then I'm just going to go back and forth to secure my yarn. And once I've tidied up the loose end, I'm just going to snip it off, and there we go. We've got all our I'll just let you do that for each and every one of your squares, and I'll show you the next step after that to do the edging. So the next step is the edging, and I've chosen to edge the scarf with the pink yarn. So what I'm going to do is just attach the pink yarn. I'm just going to attach it. So I've chosen the pink yarn to make the edging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it at some point, any point on the side. Just attach it any way you prefer. So you've just gone through one stitch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a single crochet inside each and every stitch along. So I'm just going to pop my hook through, grab the yarn, pull it through for that first stitch, make a single crochet or a chain, and then just go into the next stitch and make a single crochet, and into the next stitch and make a single crochet. And as you can see, I am tidying up my loose ends whilst I am doing this. So you're just gonna pop a single crochet into each and every stitch, and once you reach the corner, so you'll only have 4 corners obviously this time, you are just going to pop inside that space 2 single crochets, chain 2, and another 2 single crochets inside those corners. But like I said, you'll only have 4 obviously because you stitched all your squares together, so you'll have another corner right let me see how I can show you, right here, and then obviously on the other side of the scarf you'll have 2 more corners. And then you're just going to do the exact same. I'm just going to snip off this loose end just so you can see better, and I'm just going to carry on popping a single crochet inside each and every stitch across. And I'll just let you do this up until the end, and I'll rejoin you once you've done that. So I'm back, and to finish off these this row, I'm just going to slip stitch to that first single crochet that we made. So I'm just going to try and place my camera So once you've done that, we're going to start the shell edging. So for the shell edging, you are going to start by chaining 3, 1, 2, and 3, and this counts as your first double crochet. Once you've done that, you are going to be placing 6 more double crochets within that very same stitch right here. So just go ahead and place 6 more double crochets within that stitch. So that's 4 more, 5 and 6. And because that chain 3 at the beginning counts as your first double crochet, this is actually a cluster of 7 double crochets. So to carry on with this stitch, what you are going to be doing is skip 3 single crochets from the previous row, so 1, 2, 3, skip that, and go into that 4th chain and place 7 double crochets within that space. So there we go, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And once you've done that, you are going to be placing, so you are going to count 1, 2, 3 and skip those, and you are going to be arriving directly into that corner right here. So in that corner space, you are going to be placing 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so, as it happened with me, I placed a cluster right here in the corner, but it could happen depending on where you placed your first single crochet, that it is 1 stitch further or 1 stitch before that you should place your cluster of 7 double crochets, and that's totally okay. The point in this pattern being that you need to place 7 double crochets, skip 3, place 7 double crochets in that 4th stitch, skip 3, and so on and so forth. So you are going to be doing this pattern all the way along until you reach the beginning, and yeah, so once you reach this part, just slip stitch to this first cluster here, fasten off and tidy up all your loose ends, and your scarf will be complete. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and the pattern. I will be sharing lots of photos on my blog at selinaveronique.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos coming soon every week. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye bye.